Hey, what's happening, Wargamers? It is another product review, unboxing, whatever you really want to call these ones. Basically, it's another video in which I take a look at some product that I personally thought was cool, that caught my eye, and that I want to show off with you. You've seen a whole bunch of Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff. We're looking into something a little bit different today, and all I can say, it's another glorious day in the core. We are going to be taking a look at the newest board game from Gale Force 9. Well, I don't know if it's the newest, but we're going to be taking a look at the latest offering from Gale Force 9, which is the Aliens board game. It is the cooperative board game. Another glorious day in the core. This is a miniature Aliens board game based off the IP that we all know and love for Aliens. It's got some lovely looking models. It's got a really nice set of mechanics to it. Now, of course, this is not a full review of the game. That is something that will hopefully come later down the road. This is just going to be opening it up, taking a look at it, and seeing what we overall think about the contents of it, and whether or not this is enough to sort of pique your curiosity if you want to go a little bit further with it, and maybe see if it's something that you want to take a look at down the road. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Let's take a look at Aliens, Another Glorious Day in the Core. Alright, so we got the box here, and, decent sized box, got some good amount of contents in it. Now, one thing you guys might notice is that I had actually filmed the whole unboxing on this one, and unfortunately, there was some corruption. I lost everything there, so it's not as much of a first reaction as the first time around would have been. But here we go. So anyway, pretty good rundown of what we have on the back here. Got some of the alien models, got the squad right here. Something I do find kind of interesting, if you look at the squad, it looks like they're actually missing Apone. It doesn't look like Apone is any of them. At first I thought maybe it was this fella here with the flamethrower, but that appears to be Frost. So it was a little weird that, that we don't have Sergeant Apone in all this. Not a deal breaker, but just, it's a little odd. So anyway, so we got everything here. So the instruction manual itself, about 30 pages. It gives you a nice rundown of everything here. Got the quick reference on the back, which is always a nice touch. And just in general, everything looks to be rather laid out. I do like that they've included the stills from the movies in here as well. It's on one hand, it's always kind of a little bit of a concern. It feels like they kind of push the license more than they're actually pushing the mechanics of the game. But, in this case, I love the license, so I'm going to be okay with this. But, got their nice breakdown of everything here. And it looks like everything is actually well laid out as well. I like that everything has that nice bold points to it, let you know what's going on. It's got some really cool mechanics in here. Actually, I really like the idea of the endurance deck right here. Basically, just the whole idea that this basically tracks how successful you're doing in the campaign itself. With basically, as soon as you run out of this deck, that's kind of it. But it makes up any sort of like events, hazards, gear, that sort of stuff. So game looks pretty straightforward to run, which is really nice. We got the mission structures right here themselves. One thing I'm a little disappointed about is the lack of variety, because it looks like a lot of the mission structures goes back to the med lab, and it just varies between a couple tiles here. It does look like they varied up a little bit more when it comes to the area where the aliens themselves are in, but the med lab itself seems to be something they go back to regularly. Yeah, quite a few of them here. And that's a little unfortunate for variety's sake, but there is some expansions to this, so that is something that they possibly do a little bit better with in those expansions. Got the assembly guide for the models themselves. Now, I was chatting with a couple people. One fellow at my local store did say that these guys were a little bit difficult to assemble. I'm actually going to do a separate video on that one, just to see. But they don't look too difficult. The alien looks like it might have some I don't want to say difficulties to it, but there's some more parts for the alien, but it looks like it's mostly like choice of heads on top of like the different bodies. I have a sneaking suspicion he might have actually just been using some glue past its best shelf life. So we got ourselves the tokens right here. So we got our ammo counters. It looks like we have an ammo counter for the turrets as well. Decent cardstock. It's a nice thickness to it. I really dig the artwork on the alien blip tokens here. Let's just get nice and close. I really like that. I've always really liked the H.R. Geiger look for the aliens. It's always been very appropriately frightening. Got some barricade things, got some Wayland Yutani crates. Just in general, the tokens, I like them. They're nice, they're simple. Nothing too terribly fancy on them. Got some of the character cards coming up here as well. And actually, I really dig that one right there. I'm probably looking to see what that token is for. I like that. But we got our different characters here. So as you can see, we definitely have Frost as one of the Marines in here. So again, really odd that we don't have Apone, but we do have everyone else of note in here. Got a token punched down there. I think it's probably further down the box. And obviously we got the favorites with Ripley, Hicks, and Hudson there. So not too bad. I should look into see if the expansions maybe include Apone in there, and maybe some more of the squad. Now this was something I was a little disappointed in. I've kind of touched on it already with the map layout itself. There's only 4 tiles here. They're both double-sided tiles, but it definitely showcases why there's some limitation in it. And especially the mid-lab tiles, there's only so many ways you can actually put them together, which is unfortunate because they have the very set corridors here, some doorways on this one. So it's kind of unfortunate, not a lot of variety. It does look like we go over to the other side though, and we have a little bit more variety on how it's set up. There's a little bit more corridor entrances, exits. And I gotta say, I really like the artwork on the tiles for the alien nest here. You get in there, you can really see some of the nice detail that they've put into it. It just kind of has that feel of the movie that when they're in there. We got ourselves some dice. Nothing much to say about those. They are dice. So we got the cards. So we have the various alien blips. Each one of these denotes a different alien type, plus how many of those aliens are in there. Again, it's a mechanic I really like. I know some other games have adopted as well. I know that's in, I believe Space Hulk uses. Yeah, Space Hulk definitely uses something similar to it. But I really dig those types of cards. I think that's a great mechanic. I love the idea that you're always going to kind of be guessing as to what you're going to be dealing with. Got the reference cards right there, pretty standard. And then we got all the various endurance cards. So things like equipment for your smart guns, pulse rifles, pistols, just different things that you're going to be pulling through in the endurance cards. You can see the cost attached to it. And you just have to very carefully make use of this resource. Because the whole idea is with the game, it is a 3-mission campaign, but there might be some side missions. And if you run out of those endurance cards, that is that for you. There's nothing else you are doing. You're out of luck. The aliens have won at that point. So we got the Marines, the models themselves, and everything is very simple and easy to put together. You can see that we have the 5 Marines, Ripley and Newt here, and for all intents and purposes, they are fairly decent quality miniatures here. They're not the greatest, but the quality is actually pretty good. Gale Force 9 really did a solid job with these, and it's nice to see that there's not really a whole lot of parts here. You can see Hicks has a couple parts, Ripley has a couple parts, Vatska has. But for the most part, they're very easy to assemble, it looks like. There's not really a lot of guesswork. I do like that each one of the bases does have the corresponding name for who is supposed to be on there. For people who might not be as familiar with the movies, it's a nice way of keeping track of it. So I really like the Marines here. And then the aliens were another interesting standout for me. I really like these as well. Going to get them nice and close here. The detail on them is actually surprising, right down to the ridges in the skull of the aliens on the tail. There's actually quite a bit of texture on these. I really like that. I think that's absolutely fantastic. And they look actually fairly straightforward put together. It looks like their contact points have a lot of nice large flat areas. So if they take the plastic glue, amazing. If it's super glue, it should be pretty easy to hold on to it. But anyway, there we go. That is the Aliens Colonial Marines, just another glorious day in the core. And it looks like it's a rather compact cooperative game, but I think it's one that seems to offer some nice gameplay options there. I'm looking forward to getting it on the table. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think more than just the IP will take me through it. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. Hopefully if it piqued your interest, amazing, fantastic. I do enjoy sharing this sort of stuff with you guys. And, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to leave your comments below. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And I will see you next time. And until then, happy wargaming.